Hi, I'm Amanda Shekarchi, and I am joined by Desiree Dorion, who is a country roots singer-songwriter. Her new single, Let Them, is out now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, how has touring been for you? Because I saw you've been playing some shows recently.
It's been busy. It's been very busy, but it's been a lot of fun. I've never enjoyed live performance as much as I do right now because of the band that I'm working with, and we have so much fun, and we're, making meaningful connections with our audiences, and yeah, it's been a blast, but it's been really busy.
Well, I feel like it's also a nice kind of way to test the waters on some of this new music that you're going to be releasing soon and the new single Let Them, which we'll talk about in a moment here. But yeah, how has that been kind of performing some of the newer stuff if you got a chance to?
And so far as releases go, is largely guided by the response from live performance. And so, if we try out a song and it just kind of falls flat and people aren't really resonating with it, I don't tend to release those songs as, you know, liberally as I would otherwise. But if we're performing a song, we've been playing Let Them live now for probably about 6 months, I would say. And we just had such great response to it that I thought, okay, maybe we're on to something here.
It's such a great song, and let's dive into this. So, what was the inspiration behind Let Them?
So I went to Nashville in February, and I did a co-write with a few people, but one of the folks that I wrote with, his name is Jesse Slack. And I took this idea to him, and I just told him about, a friendship that I had that was coming to an end. It was expiring, and it really just run its course. And I said, initially I was really upset about, this person that I have been friends with for a long time, um, and just, that friendship no longer being there. And eventually, as time went on, what I realized is that if someone isn't in my corner or doesn't want to be in my corner, then I just have to let them. If they don't want to support me, I have to let them. If they don't want to be there for me, I have to let them. If they don't want me to be there for them, I have to let them. And, what in reflecting on that, the end of that friendship, what I really concluded is that the only person that I can control is me and how I'm going to respond to, any situation that comes my way. And what I chose to do in this instance is not only write a song about it, but literally and just focus on myself, which is kind of how I've always lived my life. Just focus on myself, do the work that I love to do, be with people that I love to be with, and let everything else fall into place where it will.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And this song is also special because you got to produce it. What was that process like?
It was cool. It was scary. I would be lying if I didn't say that I was, intimidated and I was nervous about that process. Um, just because I feel like I'm at a point in my career now where there is more pressure to, make good work, to make good music. People come to expect a certain standard out of you as an artist when you have been doing this as long as I have. And so I was worried that, I wouldn't do a good job of this, especially because it was my first time doing it. But I really feel like I chose great people to do this with. I picked a good engineer, um, good mastering engineers and mixing engineers, and uh, good studio musicians. And so I feel like I got the recipe right. I just hope that it resonates in the way that I would love it to.
Yeah, I think it definitely resonated with me and just the idea that, like, working in music, it's such a team activity, which I think is so special because you're, getting to showcase so many great talents while just getting to showcase who you are as, like, a writer. So, what advice would you have to people who want to start producing?
I would say um, just surround yourself with people who are more talented than you. Like the engineer that I'm working with, Grant Triple, he has been doing this a long time, much longer than I have uh, on the production end. And he's been just a really great, kind, and gentle mentor. And he's also just been really supportive. Some of the decisions that I've made um, maybe wouldn't have been the decisions that he would have made. And he'll say to me, why don't you try it this way, or have you given any thought to this? And he does that in a way that's not domineering, and that is respectful of my place in the collaboration.
I think that's really great advice. And so you have an upcoming album. What's the inspiration behind it?
So I've been doing a lot of reflecting on this because the album doesn't really have a theme. What I've been doing is just picking songs from my repertoire that have been there, some of them for 8 years, 9 years, and um, songs that really haven't seen the light of day, but songs that I think have their time and place, and this is their time and place. So the album is going to be called From the Vault, and it's just going to be songs that I've picked from my repertoire that have never really been heard before.
Wow, that's special. And who would you say are some of your music influences?
Oh my gosh, my all-time favorite artist ever is Dolly Parton.
Wow, I love that. I feel like she's such an icon. Like, what do you remember about her music that really, like, drew you to her?
The one song in particular that I remember is Coat of Many Colors. My granny, every time she heard that song, she would cry, just because it told a story about an impoverished girl who, wore this coat with pride that, her mom made for her, and she wore it with pride and dignity despite everybody making fun of her. And she went to school and with this coat on, and it's just a beautiful story about resiliency and pride and dignity. That I loved. And, as I've gotten older and dug into more of Dolly's writing and work, I really admire her, not only her talent, but her work ethic and her business mind.
That's so awesome. And, you've been doing music for many years now. What are milestones in your career that you will kind of never forget?
Oh my gosh. There's been a few. I mean, I think going back a few years in 2014, I was nominated for a Juno Award. That was pretty special. I never ever thought that that would ever happen in my lifetime. And then also that same year, I was hired to play the main stage at Dolphins Country Fest, which is the festival that, was a mile from where I grew up. And I used to break in there as a child and pretend, jump on the stage and pretend to perform to, well, what was really an empty amphitheater, but I was, manifesting people in the crowd and pretending that there were people watching me. And then most recently, um, probably performing at Reeperbahn. That was really cool, being able to travel with my band to Germany and playing for, an international audience. We've just been invited back to perform in Paris, so we're doing that next week, which I'm really excited about. And just overall just broadening my audience. I've really just worked at this at a grassroots level, and only in the last 2 years have I been invited outside of the province of Manitoba more frequently to play, for audiences in British Columbia, for audiences in Toronto and Southern Ontario. And um, that's been really special because I'm just a small town girl. I grew up, I was raised with a single mom. I come from very humble beginnings. And yeah, I never thought when I was a child that this would be my livelihood and that I would really get to do what I'm doing, what I love to do, what I'm passionate to do um, for a living.
That's awesome. Now, for people who want to learn more about you and your music, where can they find you?
Just my website, DesireeDorion.com. I'm on Facebook at Des Dorion, TikTok at The Desiree Dorion, and Instagram at Desiree Dorion.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Let Them is out now, and I'm excited for this upcoming album next year. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.